Hello, Gemini. Welcome to my channel, Mary's Angel Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. Let's start the reading.
Yes, you read that correctly. My cards do not lie. Not maybe, not sometime soon, not if the energy aligns. This Sunday. If this title made your heart beat faster, if you felt something in your stomach when you read it, that is not fear. That is recognition, because something has been building behind the scenes, something emotional, something intense, something unavoidable. And today, the cards are not whispering, they are shouting. Let's ground your energy first. Take a deep breath in and slowly release. You have been in a space of waiting. Waiting for clarity, waiting for communication, waiting for a sign, and the silence has been loud, too loud. You've asked yourself, why haven't they reached out? Did they move on? Was I the only one who cared? Let me tell you something clearly. You were not the only one who cared. This person has been thinking about you constantly, especially at night. The cards show insomnia, overthinking, regret that won't let them rest. They replay conversations in their mind. They think about what they should have said. They imagine different outcomes. But pride stopped them. Ego blocked them. Fear controlled them, and silence became their shield. But silence cannot protect someone forever, because emotions don't disappear. They build, and they explode. And Sunday feels like that explosion. This isn't random timing. Sunday carries reflective energy. It's when distractions fade, when loneliness becomes louder, when memories hit deeper, and something inside them shifts from, I'll wait, to, I can't wait anymore. For some of you, this will be a message, short, direct, unexpected. For others, it will be a long, emotional paragraph. An apology, a confession, a truth that has been buried. And for a few of you, it's a confrontation. Something hidden comes to light. Something you suspected gets confirmed. But here's the most important part. You are not the same person anymore. When they left, you felt pain. When they became distant, you felt confused, but during that silence, you grew, you detached, you learned your value. And that is why this moment is powerful, because now you are not waiting from weakness, you are observing from strength. The cards show jealousy. They are watching you. Even if they pretend they're not. They check your social media. They wonder who you're talking to. They imagine someone else taking their place. And that thought unsettles them, because they thought you would always be there. They thought your love was guaranteed. But your silence changed the dynamic. When you stopped chasing, they started fearing loss. When you stopped reacting, they started questioning everything. This connection was never casual. It was magnetic, intense, almost overwhelming. You triggered their vulnerability, and instead of facing it, they ran. But running doesn't solve feelings. It delays them. And Sunday feels like the end of that delay. Now I need you to listen carefully. Just because they return does not mean you forget. Just because they apologize does not mean you surrender your boundaries. Just because they miss you does not mean they deserve access to you. Sunday is not just about their action. It is about your decision. The power has shifted. If they call, let them speak first. If they text, don't rush to respond. If they confess, stay calm, because your calmness will say more than any emotional reaction. The universe has been testing your self-worth, and you passed. That's why movement is happening now, because energy responds to growth. I also see karmic balance. What was once unbalanced is correcting itself. If you gave too much, now they feel the absence. If you waited patiently, now they feel urgency. If you cried silently, now they feel the ache. Energy always returns, always. And Sunday carries return energy, return of communication, return of truth, return of clarity. For some, it's a second chance. For others, it's final closure. But either way, it breaks stagnation. And I want to be honest with you. Not every return is meant for forever. Sometimes people come back to teach you how much you've grown. Sometimes they return to apologize so you can finally move forward peacefully. Sometimes they come back just long enough for you to see you deserve better. So don't lose yourself in the moment. Observe, feel, but stay centered. Because no matter what happens Sunday, you are protected, you are guided, and you are no longer the one chasing. You are the one choosing. And I will say it one more time. My cards do not lie. When the energy is this strong, I don't dilute it. Something shifts this Sunday. A message, a confession, a confrontation, or closure. Be ready. Not with fear, with confidence. Because whatever unfolds, it aligns you with what you truly deserve. But wait, because the energy is getting deeper, there is something you don't see yet. This person is not only thinking about reaching out, they are afraid of your reaction. Yes, they are rehearsing scenarios in their head. What if they ignore me? What if they don't care anymore? What if I'm too late? And that fear is real because they feel you pulling away energetically. You stopped obsessing. You stopped checking. You stopped sending silent signals. And that silence, it shook them. They expected you to fight harder. They expected you to beg. They expected you to stay emotionally available no matter what. But you did something different. You chose yourself. And when you choose yourself, the universe responds. That's why this Sunday feels like a turning point. Now I'm seeing something very specific. There was a misunderstanding. Not necessarily betrayal, but miscommunication, assumptions. ego talking instead of the heart talking. And both of you waited for the other to fix it. But pride created distance, and time made it heavier. However, time also created realization, because absence has a way of revealing truth. When you're no longer accessible, people understand your value. When your energy is removed, they feel the cold. And this person has been feeling that cold, especially recently. The last few days feel intense for them. Restlessness, dreams about you, memories replaying randomly, songs reminding them of you, places triggering emotions. It's like the universe keeps pushing your image into their mind. And Sunday feels like the moment they stop resisting. But I need to say something important. For some of you, this isn't about romance. This could be a friend, a family member, someone who walked away without proper closure, and they've been carrying guilt, heavy guilt, because they know they mishandled the situation. They know they hurt you, and they know you deserved better communication. Sunday carries apology energy, but apology doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it's just healing, and healing is powerful. Now let's talk about you, because this reading isn't only about them. It's about your transformation. You went through emotional turbulence. You questioned yourself. You doubted your worth for a moment. You wondered if you were too much, too emotional, too intense, too demanding. But let me correct that right now. You were not too much. You were simply asking for consistency. You were asking for effort. You were asking for emotional maturity. And that is not too much. That is the bare minimum. And the reason this Sunday feels different is because you are no longer willing to accept less. I'm also seeing karmic energy here. This connection feels unfinished. There was a lesson both of you needed to learn, and separation was part of that lesson. Growth happened in silence. Strength developed in absence. Clarity came through distance. Now the universe tests the connection again, not to hurt you, but to see if growth is real. If they return, will they return changed? If you respond, will you respond empowered? Sunday is a test, not of love, but of evolution. And here's another layer. For some of you, they might not come directly. They might test the waters first, liking a post, watching your story, indirect contact, asking about you through mutual friends. Pay attention to subtle signs, because sometimes pride makes people move slowly. But movement is still movement, and the energy is undeniable. Now I want you to prepare emotionally. Do not create expectations that cause anxiety. Instead, create boundaries that create stability. If nothing happens Sunday, don't panic. Energy can manifest slightly before or after, but the shift is real. The movement is real. And your intuition already knows. Have you felt it? That strange calm before something changes? That quiet knowing? That sense of something is coming? That's not imagination. That's alignment. And let's be honest. Part of you wants this. Part of you wants them to reach out, wants validation, wants confirmation that you mattered. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't let validation become your weakness. You already matter without their message, without their apology, without their return. Remember that, because when you know your value, you don't react desperately. You respond gracefully. I'm pulling one final energetic message. You are protected. Whatever happens Sunday happens for your highest good. If they come back and it feels right, trust it slowly. If they come back and it feels wrong, walk away confidently. If they don't come back, know that something better is aligning. Because sometimes when one door knocks again, it's just to see if you're strong enough not to open it. And strength is choosing peace over nostalgia.